Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the 143, episode 121, coming at you live from the virtual 143.
Absolutely. We're just cranking these babies out one right after the other, like clockwork. Pure consistency, as to be expected, because it's just what we do.
It's who we are. It is who we are. It's in our DNA. And today we're just bringing you an update on the Dallas teams that are still in their respective playoffs. We gave you a preview a couple weeks ago, Mavs and Stars. Happy to say both have successfully made it out of round one of their playoffs, not without its trials, but they both made it out. And so we're going to dive right into it. Let's go stat of the week, brought to you by our sponsor, Andrews Logistics. The stat is that this is an NHL stat. So only 4 times in NHL history has the defending champion gone up 2-0 in their first round of playoffs, and then blown that 2-0 lead. And we are one of those upsets. The most recent one, as the Stars came back from a 2-0 deficit, winning in Game 7 in some very tight games coming down the stretch.
Yeah, absolute huge for the program. Also, adjacently, what could have been stat of the week is Pete DeBoer now moves to 8-0 career in Game 7s as head coach. So that's
Huge.
an absolutely insane stat. When you do it 8 times, you can't say it's luck. At that point, you have to attribute it to skill. So there's that.
Pressure makes diamonds.
And we like pressure. Player of the week, we'll keep it in NHL, and I went with Jake Ottinger this week. He was standing on his head between the pipes for the last 2 weeks for this team.
The Great Wall
saving
of Dallas.
187 pucks on 173 shots. He's been terrific. Just a staple, a battery for this team back there. Things really turned around. Game 3, obviously because that's when we won the first game, and one thing that really he did that was just so good for the team was he really hunkered down in each of the third periods. Every single third period we were in, he was extremely phenomenal. He was really good in that overtime period as well. So he's just been consistent. That was a complaint that a lot of people had with him during the regular season, but the last 2 weeks, I would say he's been playing at a consistently high level.
Yeah, it was good to watch some electric games in that series. I feel like sometimes, even though they were the 8 seed, they were the ones that beat us out of the playoffs last year, and they're the defending champs. Sometimes you just got to get over that first round to kind of get going. And I think there was a lot more meaning to this matchup between the Stars and the Golden Knights. So even though it went down to the wire, we took it. I don't think that means anything like, because we barely beat the 8 seed, we're not equipped to go all the way to the finals or anything. I think that this one just meant a little bit more. And so it took a little bit more intensity to get through.
And this has been a rivalry that's been brewing really over the last 5 years, I want to say, because the first time we met in 2020, it was the Western Conference Finals. We beat them in 5. And then last year, we met them for the second time in the Western Conference Finals, and then they got us in 6. And then this year, we get them again first round, and we handle business in 7. So this has been kind of something that's been in the works. You can see there was a different level of intensity out there on the ice, and that was something that was good to watch. It was good to, obviously, whenever your team wins Game 7, it's a lot of fun. We've been on the receiving end of losing Game 7s, and winning is definitely way more fun.
Absolutely. I honestly kind of think of it like when the Rangers played the Astros in the playoffs. I mean, it wasn't the World Series or anything, but it was the most intense series we had. Those rivalries, they'll go to 7, and then kind of after you win that, you feel pretty good, and you're pretty on fire for the rest of it. So that's what we're hoping happens from here on out, as there are still 3 more rounds before you can hoist the Stanley Cup. But great showing from the Dallas Stars. Obviously, after 2 games, everyone kind of wrote them off, but it was nice to see. It was nice to see him come back.
This is another Dallas team that they really take control when they're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That was what the Rangers had going for them in their postseason run last year of the World Series, is dominance on the road. And that's one thing the Stars had working for them, because obviously you get put in a really tough spot, dropping the first 2 games at home, and then you got to play 2 road games. But that's when we turned it on, and that's when the series flipped. So that's one thing we have on our arsenal, is excellent road hockey, and that's something that's going to serve us well, hopefully deep down the road.
Absolutely. Switch into NBA really quickly. The Dallas Mavericks also took round 1 in 6 games. They beat the Los Angeles Clippers, which kind of like the Golden Knights in a way. The Clippers have been the Mavs' kryptonite when it comes to the playoffs. We, for some reason, have played them in like the last 3, not the last 3, but like 3 of the last 4 they've been our round 1 matchup, and they've beaten us every time. And so kind of got over the hump in terms of facing a pretty star-studded Clippers team. And there were a couple games we just got absolutely blown out of the water, and then we took care of business in the rest of them. Kyrie Irving's really come along. Kind of, there were a lot of rocky moments with Kyrie, a lot of flack for signing Kyrie, which also I also questioned the signing of Kyrie Irving. But Kyrie and Luka are working really well together right now. So took care of business against the Clippers. The Mavs are now going to face the Thunder. They're facing, well, when this episode airs, they'll have already played game 1 on Tuesday night. But it's going to be a tough series. Thunder is the 1 seed, but they're a young team. I think we could probably beat the Thunder. Now, after the Thunder, I don't know if I love our chances, but it was nice to see a round 1 win. I'm not as high on the Mavs as we are on the Stars right now, just because I don't know if there's potential this season for the Mavs to go all the way. I think we're missing a couple pieces, but it was great to see us take care of the Clippers.
It is nice to see some more postseason dominance from another Dallas team. The Rangers, they got it done. Mavericks have been getting it done. Stars have been getting it done. But we're still struggling in that 4th, facet of Dallas sports. The Cowboys, they continue to upset us. But obviously this is not the episode for that, as you know. But it was nice to see the Mavericks make it past the Clippers. That's another playoff rivalry that's been in the makings. Yeah. Good to solidify ourselves as, higher and better than they are. So,
the Cowboys are the worst Dallas team right now. I mean, even the Renegades won a championship.
Hey, they brought a championship home.
What are we doing? That's all I'm saying. So we'll talk about that here in a couple weeks when we do our Cowboys episode. But it is nice to see that some other Dallas teams know how to win and get through the playoffs. But Stars series, when does that start? Tomorrow night too?
That's Tuesday as well. Okay. Both games are at 8:30 Central Time on Tuesday night. So once this episode airs, both games will have already been played. Dallas will be up 1-0 in both of them.
But both Dallas teams lost their game
the bold
ones.
prediction.
They both lost their game 1s in their last series, so anything can happen, man. It's a 7-game series, and hopefully both Dallas teams just sweep, and we don't even have to watch a game 5.
I mean, that would make it easier. We get some rest finally. But I'm excited for the second round for the Stars. I think we match up better against the Avalanche than we do against the Golden Knights. Obviously, they are a little bit better, but this is an interdivisional matchup. I'd say for the most part this season, we did a good job against the Avalanche. So this, a lot of people want to count us out, after taking it to 7 games against Vegas. But Vegas, they were a team that was they won it all last year, and they
Yeah.
brought a lot of players back, and they're a team that was built to make another cup run. But I think us clutching up in Game 7 just shows what this team is about, and that's, hey, when all the chips are on the table, we're gonna be the winners. Okay, we got Lady Luck on our side.
I mean, there's no such thing as quitting in Dallas. All right. Well, unless you're the Cowboys, but we're not counting them right now. But and the teams that are in there right now, it's not over till it's over. So,
Absolutely. Just grit. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to. Just being aggressive. As these playoffs roll on, you just got to play at a consistently high level.
Exactly.
Perfection is what some would ask for. I would ask for it. But
absolutely.
Nonetheless, here's like to end our shows on Under Review. I brought you a quote from the Vince Lombardi.
The GOAT.
He said, "Winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is."
Absolutely, and that's what the Dallas teams are going to continue to do, hopefully, and we will continue to update them as need be here as we go throughout the playoffs. Continue to watch, continue to tune in. We thank you for tuning in to our show this week. We will see you next week with another episode of Under Review.